Good morning, everyone. Oh, that was sad. Let me try that again. Good morning, everyone. Yes, thank you. Welcome to another 1 Million Cups. I am Brenda Whitehurst, lead organizer for the 1 Million Cup program and platform. I want to say good morning again to all of you and welcome. For those of you who are new today, I see some new faces. I'm happy about that. We're going to start with the 1 Million Cup program, the background, the history, so that you can get clarity of what the program is all about. And then we are going to introduce our first presenter today. Script changes a little bit today in that we normally would have two presenters, and we've added for this new launching of 1 Million Cups an educational component. So that would be a resource that will help your business to grow. Today, that resource is a video I think is absolutely fantastic that is presented by our Kaufman Foundation, but I thought it was appropriate to share with you today. All right, so let's start with the video.
One Million Cups is a weekly educational program developed by the Kaufman Foundation.
It's a place where our entrepreneurs can come and connect within the community.
There's a real kind of vibe or a real energy here that's about supporting entrepreneurs.
We have two presenters each week.
Two entrepreneurs, they come and tell about their journey.
They each have about 6 minutes to present.
You're telling people what you're up to, and you're essentially getting feedback from them.
There's about 15 to 20 minutes of Q&A.
All the questions that they asked us really got us thinking about new ways to think about our business.
It was good to just be able to get that feedback from the rest of the community.
So over the years, we've added more cities. It creates a great energy here to see what's happening across the country.
Last question for you, what can we as a community do for you?
The what can we as a community do to help you question is what really coalesces the community around every single presenter.
When somebody applies to present to 1 Million Cups, they're instructed to watch a series of videos through the Kaufman Founder School website.
It's invaluable information for someone who's founding a startup.
I felt better prepared, I felt more confident, and I think a little more focused than I would have been otherwise. Had I not watched the videos of the Founder School, so it was a great way to prepare.
I really like the educational component of 1 Million Cups because it does create that open forum.
You're going to hear great ideas that will help you start thinking even more about what you want to do with your business.
What I've learned from other entrepreneurs is very, very valuable.
The cool thing about 1 Million Cups is that you're amongst other people like yourself.
Just hearing someone talk about their startup, it just was magical to think, wow, there's other people out there like myself.
Sitting in a room with other people that have ideas too, it helps people to leave thinking, you know what, my idea is worth something. It's worth pursuing. It's worth going after it. Even if it looks like a challenge, I should still go out and try to do it.
I love that video because it gives the foundation of the program. It actually tells you the mission and the vision of the founder, who was Ewing Marion Kaufman. So let's look at the communities where we are. We're now in 96 cities across the country. All of these cities. And what is interesting and exciting for me is that I've had the opportunity to meet with a number of the 1 Million Cup organizers from the other cities, the other states. And just recently, I think I mentioned this last week, is that I received a call from Lincoln, Nebraska, which is where my family is, saying there's a business there that needs your help. And I was able, because of that interaction with Lincoln, Nebraska organizers, I was able to give that referral for that person to help their business to grow. So if you're interested in looking at more about what's happening in Sussex County, you would scroll down to Georgetown, Delaware, click in, and you can actually click past presentations and see previous presenters. And also there's a link that will tell you this is your opportunity right there, is your opportunity to apply to present, to be a presenter. Once you click that, it will carry you through a series of pages of collecting information, your thoughts, what the business is, and then you can begin to register. Once you have pushed the register button, it immediately comes to me to let me know that you were there. So we may have never met, but I will then receive that information and be able to put you on the schedule to be a presenter. Great. Thanks, Russ. And just before we can take that down. Thank you. Just before I introduce our presenter, I'm going to point out to you what's on the chair in front of you. Your Java, for those of you who have not been to the Java 101, you're more than welcome to get your coffee or beverage. The only day that you can use that card. This data card needs your attention. So I would like for you to, and if you need a pen, I can do that, but before you leave, please fill out this for me. It is so critical. Your information, your feedback helps me to know where to go, what things to look for, types of programs that we want to add to this, which is a part of what you're going to see before the end of the morning. So please take the time to do this before you leave. I also wanted to introduce, as I am the lead organizer for 1 Million Cups, but I am also a project coordinator here on the campus, which means that I work with a lot of special projects that are going on. Right now, we're coming up on our 33rd annual craft fair. It's Saturday, November the 12th from 9 to 3. If you're still looking to be a presenter or have a table, today is the last day to be able to get a table as a vendor. So please take that with you. Come on Saturday. We would love to have you. All right, I'm excited to introduce our presenter today. Our presenter today is actually a part of last month's presentations. Every month has a theme, and last month the theme was Back to 1 Million Cups, Where Are They Now? The past presenters were able to come back last month and talk about the change in their business, how their business has grown, any transitions. It's been absolutely fantastic. There was a number of past presenters who were not able to get in, and I'm happy to say that one of them is here today. She has some exciting things going on in her business. Her name is Antoinette Wright Johnson. Her business is All About Pink. She is a breast cancer survivor. So All About Pink offers a holistic approach to those affected by breast cancer. The belief is that wholeness is a healthy lifestyle. I'm going to introduce her and she'll tell you the rest. Would you help me to welcome Antoinette Johnson, please?
Good morning and welcome. Is that okay? I think he's making some adjustments. Hello? All right, that's better. All right, as Brenda said, I am Antoinette Johnson. I am the founder of All About Pink, and I am an 11-year breast cancer survivor. I'd like to first thank Brenda Whitehurst and 1 Million Cups for allowing me to present today. With this being my second time presenting, I will tell you my before 1 Million Cups and where I am today since 1 Million Cups. A little history about All About Pink. Yeah? Hello? It's on, yeah. It's some static or something. Okay.
Check 1, 2.
Hello? Sorry about that. Testing. Can you hear me? Is that better? All righty, we'll get back to basics here. A little bit about All About Pink. I am sort of a one-man band with All About Pink. We've had a small board group, and they've come and gone. But with that said, I'm pushing on. All About Pink is a nonprofit breast cancer health and wellness organization where we focus on nutritional education and fitness programs. We also do day and overnight retreats for breast cancer survivors in an effort to nourish their minds, bodies, and spirits. We have also partnered with other breast cancer organizations and groups throughout the state. Last month I was at Del State University with a group called Wings of Hope, and because we're all part of the same mission, we just, all pitch in and help each other whenever asked. Before 1 Million Cups, I'd like to say that funding was an issue. I was basically supporting All About Pink on my own with some small donations here and there. I did actually get a grant from the Walmart Foundation, which was helpful for a day retreat. But after 1 Million Cups, I was given 2 grants. One was from the Sussex County Council, and they gave me a grant to host a breast cancer retreat, which happened on September the 23rd through the 25th. And we did that retreat at the cottages at the Inlet in Rehoboth. We had about 12 ladies there, had a fabulous time, and they're already asking if we can do it again next year. So that was thanks to Sussex County Council. And I also was given a grant by the Georgetown Millsboro Rotary Club with an effort to start a Pink Hope bag for newly diagnosed breast cancer survivors. And I will be doing that in partnership with the Tunnel Cancer Center. They have offered to hand out the bags because of the HIPAA laws. They can't necessarily give me the names of the people. I would rather go out to the homes and do it myself as a survivor, but because of the HIPAA laws, they're not able to do that, but they will hand out the bags to the newly diagnosed patients. So I'm looking forward to doing that. That's getting started, and I had hoped to do it in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but that didn't happen. But looking forward to that happening soon. And I also would like to say that one of my proudest accomplishments is the state license plate for breast cancer awareness. All About Pink was the one that initiated, designed, and started the tag. And we have a picture of it up here. It's a $20 fee. You only pay that one time. And they link this tag, called a specialty tag, with your current registered tag. So what happens is you get 2 registrations. You keep your same tag. You can use this one on the front or the back. And again, you just pay this one time, and you continue to pay your current registered tag as it comes due. If anyone's interested in getting a tag, see me or anyone that might be interested, spread the word. And what happens is DMV, everything has to go through me. DMV will not accept applications. They pretty much will not accept calls or anything. They direct you directly to me. They give you my information. I get phone calls at home. I can send you an application, and the information is included. And once I get your information back, the application and the check and or money order, I forward that to DMV, and it takes them about 4 to 6 weeks to process the tag. The tag then gets mailed directly to you. So at that point, you can cruise around with an All About Pink tag. I love when I'm riding on the highway and I see one, it just kind of makes me smile. So that was a huge accomplishment for such a small organization. And while we're small in number, we're big at heart. So I want to continue to serve our community and help breast cancer survivors in any way I can. Thank you.
Wonderful. Let's give Antoinette a round of applause. Questions? Any questions from the audience?
Good morning, and thank you for the presentation. My biggest question is, what are your major challenges to run your programs? What is it you're looking for when you start thinking about what's next, or what could you possibly offer for the women?
Okay. My biggest challenge is being small. When there are grants and funding available, most times they go to the bigger organizations because they're well known and people feel that, they can make more of an impact through a huge organization. So that's been one of my biggest challenges. I've applied for numerous grants and can't seem to get the big ones because they go to the biggest organizations. So with that said, I push on. I do as much as I can with what I have. So funding is obviously a challenge. At some point, long term, my goal is to have a health and wellness organization or a center for breast cancer survivors. where it would be a one-stop shop for breast cancer survivors with massages, aqua therapy, Zumba classes. I'm actually a Zumba instructor, and I am a holistic health counselor as well. So at some time in my life, I hope to start that and be able to fund that.
Question.
Hi, Nettie.
Hi, Barb.
Very proud to have met you a couple of years ago, and I saw your office, which was totally pink. I'm sure it's still growing pink. A couple of things. Oh, also, we were very proud to have you on the cover as a cancer survivor and in profile in our journal. You really, what you do says a lot, and it's very, very important. You had mentioned that you started with a team, and right now you're doing a lot of it yourself. What would you like to do to grow the team a little bit so that you don't have to do everything? Because this is not your primary time-consuming piece.
Right. I work full-time. Right. I'm a paralegal.
Career. This is not your career. This is your love and your passion.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. So what I need are board members, people interested in the cause and have the same passion for the cause as I do. So I'm looking to build my team by first starting with board members, people that can help. I'm actually sort of a behind-the-scenes person, not as out there as I want to be, could be, should be. So with that said, I need someone or folks to be able to do that for me. So.
And how many tags have been sold so far, do you know?
I don't have the exact number, but I would have to say probably at least 500.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you using social media to get your word out there and spread the word?
Well, very limited because, again, I have a hard time. I'm not computer literate. So as you can see, I have a Facebook page. So every time I try to download pictures on it, I think they go to the cloud someplace because they never appear on my Facebook page. So I just have a niece who's very good with it. If she's down, she lives in New Jersey. Sometimes I'll ask her to help me, but that's a problem for me as well. I have you saw the little website through Vistaprint that was easy to navigate for me, so I did do that. But I need help in all areas of social media and fundraising for sure.
Other questions?
Hi, how are you? My
Hi,
name is
good.
Dominique. I'm also in the same situation that I am starting up a nonprofit, and I'm a one-man show, one-woman show. And I just have a question about funding. I know you kind of spoke about it a lot. How do you go about reaching out for certain grants? Is there a certain criteria that you have in your mind when you want to apply for certain grants?
Yes.
I guess that's just my question. How do you go about that? Because I'm kind of in that stage now to try to look for more funding.
Well, and I, look in the newspapers a lot, and I've gotten leads that way because I'll see certain grants where they're offering for nonprofits. So I will apply to them, and absolutely, just as you said, with a mission in mind. So with the Pink Hope Bag, when I applied to the Georgetown Millsboro Rotary, that was the focus of that funding to do the Pink Hope Bags. So I hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
There have been some bigger organizations. Of course, I applied for the one down in Selbyville. I think oh goodness, Freeman Foundation, yeah. Right? And because it's a bigger one, they tend to also fund larger organizations. So I get discouraged, but like I said, I push on and try to get them any way I can. Walmart has, like I said, been great, and then the Georgetown Millsboro Rotary and Sussex County Council. So I'm thankful and grateful for the funding that they've given me. Yes. Right, and statewide more so, yeah, right. Like the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition is huge, so, they get quite a bit of funding, and I don't want to take away from them. In fact, I'm one of their mentors, so we all work together for the cause.
Questions? Last question, and then I'll ask.
My brother's wife just got diagnosed with breast cancer, and I've heard rumors about the benefits of grapeseed oil. Is that something that you know anything about?
You know, I don't know a lot about it, but I must say that a personal story, my sister's fiance's mother, she gave me a book about grapes and breast cancer, not necessarily breast cancer, cancer in general. And she, her husband died of cancer, but she was giving him this grape remedy, grapes, grapes, grapes. It was sort of a detox, but all you ate were grapes. And she said that she swears that that's what kept him alive as long as it did. So there's something to be said about it. Yeah.
Last question before the last question. So I have a question. So when I'm looking at 1 Million Cups, the platform, I'm looking at building communities, serving, working with, supporting local businesses at the local level.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see yourself as a profitable business? Because I think, personally, having worked my background in economic development, you know, the way you think business mind structure, economic development, how do you see yourself in building this
Collaborate or foundation?
Yes.
Well, I must say, with working full time, it's a little difficult. I can't put as much energy and time in it as I would like to. But right now, most people say it's more of a hobby because I don't present myself and have as much funding and do as much as I should be doing or could be doing. But with that said, at some point, I would like for it to be a profitable organization so that I can grow my program and do so much more for breast cancer survivors, hence the Wellness Center.
Awesome. We really congratulate you. Okay. So then, Antoinette, what can we as a community do to help you?
Well, if anyone's interested in being a part of my team, I would love to hear from you. The fundraising front that I get from the tag is helpful, so anyone interested in a tag, spread the word that there is one in Delaware, because that, again, has helped me with some of my programs with the funding. Even though it's $20, 10 of that goes to DMV and 10 goes to All About Pink, so every $10 helps.
Thank you. Let's give Antoinette a round of applause, please.
Thank you.
Thank you. While Russ is setting up the video for our educational component, I just want to share that next week is another awesome week for 1 Million Cups. The educational component is the United States Small Business Administration will be here. And the presenter will actually be the same person because he is a business owner, new business coming to the state of Delaware. I'm so anxious to hear him share that with you. I know it already, but I'm going to save that for him. Then for the month, don't forget that the week after, which is a week of Thanksgiving, we will not be having 1 Million Cup, but we will reconvene the last week of November to close out the month of November. So this month we've been celebrating as our theme month veterans. We just celebrated Veterans Day this coming Friday. And so the whole month we have been inviting veteran entrepreneurs to share. And so that's been going on. We'll end out the month of November. For the month of December, we're only doing 1 Million Cup for 1 week. That's the first week in December. And we're going to make it fun. Let's have fun. Shop, shop, shop. And so for the month of the first week in December, it's gift giving month. We are actually going to have 2 presenters who are retailers on the stage, one being tail bangers. And then we're going to have vending tables around the room with diverse types of businesses buying or selling. You have the awesome opportunity to shop until you drop. I'm seeing at least one smile there. Come on, ladies. So it's all good. All right, so to close out our morning, I thought this was so awesome. The Kaufman Foundation is the largest entrepreneurial foundation in the nation. And they offer so many opportunities for our businesses to grow. Mr. Kaufman's thought was, and his own experience came from the fact that he worked for a pharmaceutical company. He quit and started his own in the basement of his own home and had a special love for entrepreneurship. And so the thought of providing a platform for business startups. So you won't always hear 1 Million dollar companies here, but the ones who started, I literally started from the trunk of my car. And within 5 years had bought out two businesses, one that was 58 years old with no money up front. So learning how to do it means everything. And I still have that mentor today, and that was over 25 years ago. So it is absolutely fantastic. And so let's share our entrepreneurial video.
This is the story of Beth, her friend Carl, and an idea they believed could become a great business. It's the story of how they succeeded, and if you're an entrepreneur or anyone with a great idea, it could easily be your story too. But let's begin at the beginning. See, even if you have a great idea, success is far from assured. That's because for every great idea that has shaped our world, there are thousands of seemingly great ideas that have flopped. In order to succeed, a great business idea needs a great business model, and they're not the same thing. Once your idea meets the world, it will meet customers. If they don't care about the problem your idea solves for them, it's game over. But even if customers love your value proposition, you can fail if your business model is not scalable and financially sustainable. You'll need to find reliable channels to reach and acquire your customers. You'll need to build an infrastructure that won't collapse as your business begins to grow. Failing to do just one of these things can mean death to your business, however great your idea is. That's why your first work is to search for the right business model, to map this world of challenges so it can be tamed and organized, allowing you to explore it, manage it, and plan for it. What if there was a tool that could help you with this challenge, simply and visually? A tool that makes it easier to stress test your ideas, track your progress, and avoid breaking the bank along the way. What if it was possible to design and test business models in a way that gives your idea a better shot at rising to the level of the great businesses that are shaping our world? It is, and though the journey for these guys, and for you, won't be a walk in the park, all you'll need is your creativity, willingness to work, and passion for your idea. We'll give you the rest. This is the business model canvas. It's just what Beth and Carl will need to craft a powerful business model, and it can do the same for you. Let's dive in and see how it works. There are 9 essential building blocks that make up any business model. When you get all 9 blocks working together, you'll have answered the fundamental questions any business model must solve. We'll start here with customer segments. These are all the people or organizations for which you're creating value. For each segment, you have a specific value proposition. These are the bundles of products and services that create value for your customers. Channels describe through which touchpoints you're interacting with customers and delivering value. The customer relationships outline the types of relationships you're establishing with your customers and how you're acquiring and retaining them. Pricing mechanisms through which your business model captures value are documented under revenue streams. The key resources show which assets are indispensable in your business model, so you can describe the infrastructure you need to create, deliver, and capture value. The key activities show which things you need to be able to perform well. The key partners show who can help you leverage your business model, since you won't own all key resources yourself, nor will you perform all key activities. And once you understand your business model's infrastructure, you'll also have an idea of its cost structure. Any business model can be mapped this way: 9 building blocks working to reinforce and strengthen each other. But before you make a model for yourself, it helps to see what a breakthrough business model looks like in action, like this one. Low-cost airlines revolutionized air travel thanks to their disruptive business model. Let's first look at their value proposition. A low-cost airline offers ultra-cheap flights to their main customer segment, budget travelers, by adopting a no-frills policy. And this leads to additional revenue streams, because customers pay for their ticket and additional fees on items like food and drink, priority boarding, and luggage. The airlines save even more money through their choice of channels, selling only through call centers and the internet, making for efficient, if not always convenient, customer relationships that are automated and often impersonal. Okay, that covers the right side of the canvas, the part everyone can see. The left side of the canvas is what's going on backstage. Like their choice of key resources, they reduce maintenance and training costs by using a single aircraft model for the whole fleet. And they only fly to cheap airports where it's cost efficient to land or where they even get paid to touch down. Planes that do land have quick turnarounds, so they get back in the air earning money as quickly as possible. And they form key partnerships with others in the travel industry, like car rental, hotel, and insurance companies. Finally, under cost structures, all maintenance, training, airport, and call center costs are trimmed to their lowest levels. All of these pieces working together make their fares almost impossible for traditional airlines to compete with. There's nothing superior about these airlines except their business models. They're reaching an entirely new segment of travelers out of reach for traditional airlines. Cutting out costs is pretty exciting, right? But wait, just because it's successful for discount airlines doesn't mean it will work for your idea. Luckily, the business model canvas allows you to iterate many models and test them quickly. Let's get started with your own business idea. You can think of a business model like a story of how your enterprise will create, deliver, and capture value. And like a story, it can be one you've heard over and over before. For instance, you can start with what most people are fixated on, the value proposition. Travel for retirees. Then decide whom you can sell it to. Yep, boomers. Sketch in how you'll get it to them. Okay, a website. And how that will generate revenue. Sure, sales fees. You'll make it easy and automated. Next, you figure out what key resources you need to offer all that, like a reliable website and brand recognition. Carl's thinking his key activities will be marketing, website, and maintenance, and then partners will do the booking. And finally, where your costs will come from. Sales, marketing, platform development, all that will cost you. There you go, your first model. But don't expect a medal or a breakthrough. Predictable models can work, but rarely give you a competitive advantage. So don't fall in love with your first idea. To compete in a world where the best model wins, you'll need to think harder and explore alternatives. For example, prototype a model where you give away your value proposition for free. This will instantly change everything. You might not find this model realistic, but exploring it will force you to think hard about potential alternatives. As an entrepreneur, you're thinking of your model 24/7. Now you have a tool to structure your ideas as quick prototypes to consider with your team. Who knows, you might wind up with a disruptive model that changes an entire industry, like Skype with its freemium model, or Nespresso, which became a multi-billion-dollar business by locking customers into purchasing high-margin espresso capsules. In fact, understanding innovative or simply successful business models in other industries can be a great place to start getting to your breakthrough. There's no right or wrong way to do it. Just 3 rules to start with. First, focus on the business model, not just your product, technology, or service. Second, don't fall in love with your first models. The best models are built on clever, unexpected elements, and that comes from creating many less obvious versions. Which leads to the third rule. Iterate rapidly and test your models early, in the real world. How do you do that? Don't worry, guys. We're about to learn all about the real world beyond our canvas. Remember the chaos your idea faced before you made the canvas? Well, you've tamed some of it by mapping the elements that are mostly within your control. But the world out there is full of threats, constraints, and opportunities beyond your control. They create the environment in which you'll design and build your business model, and in which your business will fight for survival every day. Just because you can't control these factors doesn't mean you can't and shouldn't account for them in your model. Doing so will help prepare your model for threats, ready it for changing legal constraints, and prime it to jump on innovations. Let's see how mapping the environment will affect the Boomer travel agency model. On the right, you'll map market forces, everything related to the customer segments you've selected. Ask yourself, which other segments are there? Which ones are the most lucrative? Looks like Beth's discovered a segment of boomers with a range of disposable wealth. You could ask, which segments are growing and what do they most want? And why might your customers resist? Okay, good. Boomers have trouble adapting to new technology. Now above your canvas, map key trends. Are new technologies about to undercut your value proposition or supercharge it? What regulations are coming up? How is society at large shifting? Right, Carl. Rising medical costs could weigh heavily on your customers. Now to the left, map industry forces. Who are your main competitors? What advantages do their business models provide? Could they crush you? Your industry may already have a dominant competitor, but ask yourself, where are their weaknesses? Can you disrupt them? What might happen as suppliers and partners evolve or don't? Better to know now that the travel field is crowded and volatile, right, Carl? Finally, below your canvas, map macroeconomic forces. How is the global economy doing? Markets may be in a state of rampant uncertainty. How available is capital? Venture capitalists may be taking few risks. How well is the infrastructure developed in the market you are doing business in? Sure, many boomers are experiencing a decline in living standards. Now you've mapped your environment, full of threats, opportunities, and constraints. What do? Use the map, of course, to make your business model more responsive. Looking at industry forces on the left side of your canvas, ask, does your model have a competitive edge today? Tomorrow? Good thinking, Beth. That dominant competitor could be a threat. Looking at key trends on the top of your canvas, ask, is your model prepared for emerging trends? Okay, if rising medical costs encourage overseas treatment, that could be an opportunity for your travel agency. On the right for market forces, is your model in line with evolving customer needs? Sure, if your customers are resistant to the internet, you're right to rethink delivery through a website. And below for macroeconomic forces, how will your model adjust to macroeconomic shifts? Yes, Beth. Unfortunately, travel is becoming a luxury that a growing number of your customers can't afford. But don't be overwhelmed by these elements. Asking and answering these questions will help make your business model better suited to its environment and that much more likely to succeed. Now you're ready to start testing your model in the real world. All right, you've got your model, you made your best guess, it's time to fail. I know it's hard to hear, but even your most promising prototype is pretty certain to fail. Many of your hypotheses are bound to be wrong. Luckily, the canvas makes it easy to adapt, as long as your mistakes are cheap and you act quickly to fix them. See, the only judge of a business model is your future customer. What you've created so far are just hypotheses. Guesses that need to be true for your business model to succeed. You have to test these hypotheses. Fail or succeed, learn, then adjust. This process is known as customer development and lean startup. Begin by explicitly stating the most important hypotheses underlying your business model. Okay, you believe that boomers crave custom travel experiences that are tailored to their needs, and that a great brand can overcome a dominant competitor's advantage. Great. Now get out into the world and see if you're right. You can conduct low-cost experiments to test your most important hypotheses. Talk to your distributors, potential partners, and industry experts. But most importantly, talk to your prospective customers. They're likely to have questions and concerns that never crossed your mind. The idea of overseas travel might be stressful for your customers. Money could be a concern, or there might just be a general lack of interest. Yes, learning that overseas travel is not attractive to many of your customers can feel like a major setback. But what you learn in the field can also lead you to unexpected opportunities, like the fact that retirement is cheaper overseas. And this might lead you to modify your original idea in favor of something new. As you gain confidence with your model, you should intensify testing. You'll succeed in some ways, but you'll fail in others because there will always be factors that you can't foresee from your office. If you adapt rapidly and cheaply, you can account for these factors. Solutions like quality assurance for high standards might be easier to implement through retirement village franchises. The more you test, the more you learn, the more your model matures. It's time to start thinking about business models in a revolutionary new way. The era of the fixed business plan is over. To compete today, you need an evolving business model. And if you document your evolution, you can play back your canvases like a flip book, a valuable documentation of your increasingly viable business model. Now your business model is not just a bunch of guesses. You've tested, adapted, and your business model is now likely to succeed. You're ready for the next step. It's time to pitch your model.
This is the last slide.
You've done a lot of great work on your canvas, and the result is a business model that you're ready to pitch. Sharing your work with others for the first time can be intimidating. But remember, you know the model inside out, and I'll help you along the way. So go ahead, pitch it.
Huh?
Ooh, not like that. Showing the model all at once is cognitive murder. There's way too much info there to digest. You wrote it like a story, so tell it like a story, scene by scene. Use sticky notes to fill in the boxes one at a time as you explain them. Go on, try it.
We're going to match retiring baby boomers with overseas retirement communities run by franchisees. These are the two customer segments we're targeting.
Good. Now make it even more real for them.
10,000 boomers are retiring every day, like the Andersons, who can barely scrape by in Florida, but can live like kings in Brazil.
Okay, now continue the story with the next logical box.
For the retirees, our value proposition is affordable, high-quality retirement. We've taken the guesswork out of finding an overseas location that will be comfortable, affordable, and fun. And for our franchisees, we'll offer customer acquisition through thousands of high-quality leads.
How will we monetize this? By charging retirees a modest monthly fee and collecting franchising fees. They pay us for both leads and a trusted brand. We already have 5 letters of intent from potential franchisees, valued at over $1 million.
Now reinforce your case by explaining what you learned from your testing. Admitting your failures to investors and partners may seem unorthodox, but it shows your model is stronger for having been real-world tested and adapted.
We also learned from extensive research and some failed pilot offerings that many of our customers aren't just dissatisfied with their retirement options at home, they won't be able to keep up with medical costs either.
You're doing great. Now walk them through the rest of your model.
4 out of 5 customers we spoke to don't trust overseas options. By applying a local
Emerging
brand to
communications technologies, they'll never feel too far away. Services like Skype and FaceTime make connecting with family as easy as pressing a button.
continue to grow. And though our revenue numbers may seem ambitious, they're based on over $1 million in pre-sales to customers.
By favoring human customer service over services provided through the internet, we become that much more accessible to boomers
So in
who may not
conclusion,
be tech-savvy.
we've tested, failed, adjusted, and we are now convinced the market potential of this model is enormous.
And while our idea is compelling, our business model is what makes us ready to compete on the largest stage.
And that is the story of how Beth and Carl took a great idea and created a great business model. But their story doesn't end here. As their business begins to grow, the canvas remains a valuable tool, growing and evolving with it. With some determination, hard work, and the right business model, this could easily be your story too.
Wonderful. From idea to business. Every business starts with an idea. And because you have an idea doesn't necessarily, and you start it, doesn't necessarily make it profitable. It doesn't necessarily make it stable. Every business goes through phases. I've been an entrepreneur for 27 years, and it hasn't always been a peak, but it hasn't always been a valley. But I've had an opportunity to buy out 3 businesses, existing businesses, and move them forward. So I know that there are some hardships. I thought this Canvas model would be beneficial for someone sitting here today who is thinking business, not there yet, but has an idea, but really don't know how to get it going or get it sustainable. Because in any business world, the first 3 to 5 years is really a hard time to get that business up and moving and profitable. I have a business that I worked with. We did $500,000 in 6 months. The problem was it looked so good that we started paying ourselves, and then we started bringing on other people to pay them, and started bringing in family members until everything went down the drain. It was really started out to be so awesome, and then it turned into a real nightmare. So I thought this would be awesome. I want to invite you to go to www.1millioncups, and then go to Kaufman Founder School and the entrepreneurship.org to get all the tools you need, those of you who are thinking business. Are there any questions? Anything at all? All right. I started out with shoes. I have a passion for shoes, and my husband and I would be in Germany, him active military, and if I saw a pair of shoes I thought Antoinette would like, I wasn't sure of her size or design or color or whatever. I literally, really true story, got physical pain to leave them behind. But then the thought was, if she can't wear them, somebody can. So I started buying them, really not even connected to a wholesaler or anything. And later on, I connected myself with a business person, economic development, and bought out a 58-year-old business that he had with no money up front. No money. And then a year later, someone saw that story, called me and offered me an opportunity to buy them out. I turned that down. It wasn't the time, wasn't right. And a year later, she called me back, and I took that opportunity. The time was then right. And then several years later, within the last 2 years, I bought out a women's clothing store. Yeah, gave it to my daughter. So that's her business. I bought it, signed it over to her, and that's hers. Yep. But trust me, I had resources along the way. And then in turn, I became an SBA resource provider. So, yeah, that's what I retired from. Any other questions? I want to thank you all for coming. And just before we leave, I want to give a Del Tech Cup to our presenter today. Can you give her a round of applause? Thank you. Please take the flyer of the craft fair with you and share that with someone so that we can have a successful Saturday. Thank you, students, for coming. Michelle, for coming. And I just want to say to those of you who don't know that Russ and Josh are part of our organizer team. I want to thank them for all that they do for us. Thank you so much. Come talk to me. We'll see you next week.